Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I am here at Park Square, and today I am with Geoff Buerger, who is running for Pittsfield School Committee. Geoff, thanks for taking the time to do this.
Thank you very much for having me on. This is great.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And so I guess I'm going to start with the same question I ask everyone who's throwing their hat in the ring. What made you decide to run for the Pittsfield School Committee this year?
I think a sense of exasperation about the things that are not happening. There have been some things that have happened that have been most unfortunate, but as we look at the Pittsfield Public Schools from the inside, and I've been inside for the last 4 years. Doesn't that sound terrible? I've been inside for the last 4 years. I'm aware of some of the things that we should be fixing, that we should be addressing, that we appear to be paying no attention to whatsoever. And that's exasperating. It's exasperating as an educational professional and as a taxpayer of Pittsfield.
Okay, and for those who are not familiar with you, a little bit about your background, because I was kind of impressed with some of the things you were telling me.
So I'm Pittsfield born and bred. I was born under President Eisenhower, if that helps some of you track down exactly how fossilized I am. Then I've been away for about 45 years of education. I've been in the Arctic for 12 years. I was a principal for 10, an assistant principal for 6. Name something that's in the educational world, and I've probably done it, including teaching teachers who are working on their master's degree. I've been an adjunct at a couple. But most recently, I've been a substitute at 3 of the 4 secondary schools here in Pittsfield. And when we look at some of the issues, maybe the greatest number of issues that we have here in town, they seem to be focused on the secondary level. So I have immediate and indeed current experience with all of those issues. My doctorate is from Dalhousie University up in Canada. I'm a grandfather of 2, so I have to be concerned not only about teachers, because I supervised them for 20 years, but also the kind of system that my grandchildren are going to grow up in. With all of those concerns and that really varied expertise, I think I bring a lot to the table because it's so varied. Seen a lot, done a lot, dealt with a lot. One of the most challenging was I was the COVID chair for Utqiagvik, Alaska, when we shut down up there. So I know what it is like to be in the public eye when lots of people are unhappy with the situation generally and are looking for somebody to make it right.
Okay, and this year while you're out campaigning and talking to people, what are some of the big concerns or issues you're hearing from the constituents?
There are a bunch, and they're also quite varied. I am concerned, and many people are, that the AFT members don't have a contract yet. They're still in negotiation. So if you're a paraprofessional, if you're a bus driver, a bus monitor, a kitchen worker, a custodian, a school secretary, you're in contract limbo. And remember, the teachers were in contract limbo for a long time. AFT members look at that and say, can we not go through that, please? That's certainly one. There's a broad-based concern, I'm sure you're hearing this from other candidates, about the district's unwillingness or reluctance to be transparent about a number of things. We can't, for example, without going into last year's history about PHS, this year, how many teachers are we short? How many teaching assignments that are budgeted and paid for are being staffed by people who are not qualified teachers as substitutes, or by paraprofessionals, or by long-term subs teaching outside their field? We can't get an answer to that, and I think people are frustrated by that. The third, I think, is you saw the headline of the Berkshire Eagle yesterday about half of our secondary students don't come to school. Well, there's a reason for that. We don't make them. We have a bizarre policy in Pittsfield where you can miss fall first quarter and get a 50. Just miss it. Don't show up. Don't do anything. It's still, your grade's still a 50. Second quarter. Now we get to Christmas, we get to New Year's. You still haven't shown up. You still get a 40. So we're giving you half your year free if you're a student. And of course, there's the downstream effects of that are really very considerable. If you have no skin in the game, as it were, then those students have no motivation to come. They can still scrape their 60. They can literally do, over 4 years, half of their secondary diploma courses and still get their diploma. That's nuts. And we wonder why our scores are bad. We wonder why our results are bad. It's because we have enabled students that we consider our students to opt out from being students. And there's a great deal of frustration, particularly among teachers, about that particular policy. I think if you had to take the top three, those are probably the top three. But the list goes on. We know that we need to replace Conti and Crosby. That's a great initiative. I'm glad this year's school committee's got that started, the ball rolling. But look at some of the other schools. Look at Pittsfield High, which has some great students, has some great teachers, and has a building that is desperately in need of a little TLC. And PHS is not the only building with deferred maintenance issues. That has to be a concern. So if you're a parent, walk through the building at PHS and say, do you want your student to spend 4 years in this physical environment? And I think the odds are you probably don't. A number of people are concerned and have expressed their concern by opting out. How many of our parents have chosen to leave Pittsfield? Let's go to Lenox. Let's go somewhere else. Right. But there's a revenue issue to that as well.
Absolutely.
So now we have less money to work with because the product has not been such that we can keep all of our people at home. Ideally, what we should be doing is saying, we have a honkin' CTE school at Taconic. We should have a net influx of students coming into Pittsfield to go to Williams, which is a blue ribbon elementary school, to go to one of the recognized elementaries at Egremont, to go into those CTE programs which are really exciting, or take the theater program at Taconic, which is incredible. Why can't we keep our own people to do those things? Why can't we bring in other people? It's because the word on the street is the product that we offer is not as good as it should be.
Now, at the last school committee meeting I did attend, and I saw you get up and speak in favor of the union for the cafeteria workers and janitorial staff, and what is it, the AFT, is it 1305, I think, or something like that?
And the paraprofessionals.
Yes. And I 100% am in agreement with what you were saying, for sure. I mean, that's why I was there. I think we need to really step up for them. And I was also shocked in that meeting to see that our student enrollment declined another 182 students. And I had to think, and I'm sure like a lot of people, how many of that is more parents that decided to choice out their kids to other districts?
Well, so we were just talking about transparency. We don't know because the district doesn't ask. And we need to find out. We need to ask not only in terms of numbers, but we need to ask why. Why would you send your kids to a different district instead of staying home in Pittsfield and going to a Pittsfield public school? And because we don't ask, we don't know, we can't address those concerns. Now, I strongly suspect that student behavior is one of those issues, that it's a driver for parents. They want to go to, they want their children to go to a school where misbehavior is at a minimum and safety is at a maximum. We need to be addressing that concern, if I'm right in that particular hypothesis. And I think that there is a direct correlation to that 50-40 for free policy, where a student can screw around for half the year and be enabled to do that without consequence.
Yeah, that's shocking. I was not aware of that.
Well, there are good educators, people that I work with, that I like, that I respect, who say, and this is the rationale, that if you get a 0 in that first quarter, it's mathematically virtually impossible for you to overcome that and get the credit at the end of the year. So we're trying to make sure that students can still opt in, they can change their mind, they can get it right. They've still got a chance. And that, that underlying logic is really very compelling. What we have seen, though, is that students are exploiting it. That rather than a small number of students taking advantage of it, which is, I think, the way it was intended, we have a large number of students who are exploiting it. We've even had parents, when we've made the call home, say, he'll start working in February. What? Well, so this is clear. It's a systemic problem that we can fix. It's an easy fix. We just need to fix it.
Okay. Now, for people who, I mean, because that covers a lot, but that's a lot of great stuff and important stuff. So for people who want to learn more about your campaign, or if they want to support you, host a yard sign or something like that, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, so the real limitation I'm finding is that I am so much of a fossil that I have no social media presence at all. So the best thing to do, if you're interested in helping or have questions that you'd like me to answer, my email is gbuerger@aol.com. Yes, I am that old that I could get my initial and my last name and AOL. So gbuerger@aol.com, and I'll be glad to get right back to you.
Awesome. Geoff, I cannot thank you enough for your time today. It's Pittsfield Tonight. I know you don't follow because I'm on social media, but I'm certain there's going to be a lot of people interested and that are going to have questions for you. So again,
I appreciate the opportunity, and maybe I should get online.
yes, friend me first. I'll look for you if I see you there.
It's a deal. Mike, thanks very, very much.
Absolutely. Have a good one, Geoff.
You too, sir.